everyone, this is FantasyEsque, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. Before we dive into the episode and carry on with the birthdays of our final set of twins who are going to be aging up into Immortals, I want to go through the movie that we saw in the beginning of this episode. Now, we've been having a bit of a build-up for the past couple of videos coming out of this exchange between the Salazars and the visitants, of the warlock that we had in our hands, essentially. And then the soldiers of ours that they had captured, and then the Salazars have been trying to hatch up this plan to make this unique potion that is going to deliriate, hopefully, important members of the visitant army and Prince's guard. Ideally, we want to try and get the prince himself, but we've been working on this in the background and getting the potion to the waters in which the visitants swim near their camp. That has been on our mind for a while, and everything these ladies have been doing, a little bit by little bit, we've been building up to that. And finally, we saw in this episode, after the exchange had taken place previously, that the warlock, Othel, who is now with his people once more, he, is free, kind of, but he also had this promise that he was bound by, magically bound by. It's not as though now that the exchange is over, he could decide not to do what he was supposed to do, because he had an agreement with these ladies. One, it was helping Sophia conceive, which she did, and she gave birth to a set of twins. In the previous episode, we had a girl named Azura, and then we had a boy, her twin brother, named, Rick? I think it was Rick. So we have those children, but along with that, the queen's condition was that he go and pour this magical potion of deliriation, I suppose. That's probably not even a word. But magical potion to deliriate Sims. Pour that into their waters when he had the chance to slip it in. So he was alone. He finally did during the day when obviously the vampires are going to be inside the camp. They're going to be indoors, not really walking around outside of the sun. He slipped that potion into the waters, and the waters transformed. It changed color slightly. It was like this dark blue, and then it became a green sort of color. But it was very minor change, so nobody will have noticed, really, especially if it's dark out. So he went back inside, and then, of course, we had our twin captains from the visitant army, Trista and Sherlo. They went for a swim outside, and when they came out, Sherlo was saying, wait a second, is it me or does the water look different? They didn't notice anything when they were swimming in it. And then Trista started saying that, yeah, I feel strange, my mind. And then their minds started wandering. And basically they couldn't finish that thought because they were delirious. The potion was working on them. So I don't know how long this effect is going to last from this magically created potion, which Sophia worked on. But essentially, unfortunately, we didn't manage to get the prince or any of the other gods. But two of the most important people in the prince's private army, they are now delirious. Their minds are not entirely working well. So even if the prince consults them, I don't know exactly how helpful they're going to be. And then once we wrapped that up, we jumped to the castle over here with Catherine and Elaine, the daughters of our priestess Lady Galaxia, the youngest set of twins we have, and the final set to age up into immortals for their generation. That means we're going to have no more vampire birthdays in this season. This is like the last set that we have. So they were in their chamber just talking with each other, and Catherine, was kind of asking her sister if she's excited to be an immortal. I mean, that's something the youngsters always look forward to. It's kind of a magical, transformative experience. And when they truly become their own person, and when the other vampiresses start looking at them with a little bit of respect, like their words kind of start having weight once they become immortals, and they're not really babied, they're kind of entrusted with things, right? So they're looking forward to that, and Elaine being, her sweet, evil, genius, not really going to show you what I'm about sort of person, she had some wise words, and she essentially said, well, immortality will come whether or not we are ready for it. And Catherine, I feel personally just adores her younger sister. So she just, I think, was very, very touched by how wise her baby sister sounded. And Elaine is trying to be all humble. She was saying, oh, don't embarrass me, sister. I speak plainly. I say simple words, simple things. And then Catherine reassured both of them, saying that their mother is going to be very, very proud of them, which, they've been doing their part, listening to the scholar when they've been assigned certain subjects to study. They've been doing their best in training, I feel, but I think more than vampiric training, their efforts have been in studying skill sets, which the scholar is assigning to them during their royal studies. So there's been that. And now finally the day has come where everyone is going to be celebrating our youngsters aging up into immortals. And I think this is also good. Everyone's kind of eager for the little ones to become one of the vampiresses that is ready and able to fight, because we are living in a time of war. So it's not as though the ladies are going to feel very assured if they have children kind of reliant on them. I think they want members of the coven that can stand side by side and help them during this time. Not that we're going through a crisis. If anything, I feel like the Salazar coven has stuff under control. Even then, I think everyone's gonna feel a lot better. And this is actually a really cute setup. I don't think we've had a birthday outside, so I thought it would be very fun to do that. It is during the day and it is raining, so a little bit miserable, but the area is covered, as you can see, so they don't have to worry about burning in the sun. And I just thought it would actually be so cute to have our twins like sitting in this little area. Like, isn't that adorable? They actually have a designated place to sit, unlike other times when everyone's kind of fighting to face the cake. And then we have all of our coven members giving them attention. It kind of feels like they're special, right? It does. Okay, well, why don't we go ahead? Normally I do get them to dress up in their formal or party wear, but this time I decided not to. Just because I feel like we've been having quite a few events and everyone's always dressed outside of the everyday wear, but I want to see more of the everyday wear, especially on like the Dravagers and the Salazars, because I don't know how much longer we're going to be seeing them for in this getup before we're like ready for a new season. So I want to enjoy them in the beautiful outfits while they're here and we have them. So, okay, let's not waste any time. We're going to age these lovelies up. I'm intrigued to see what sort of traits they're going to have. Obviously, I'm excited about their makeover, like heck. Now, Catherine, just a quick reminder of her traits. She's, okay, a bookworm and romantic. Right, she's a bookworm and romantic. And then her sister is the evil genius. Right. Okay, well, we're going to blow out the candles and get things going. So, let's blow out the candles. We'll start off with Catherine. Oh. Okay, Catherine. And here she goes. And then we'll add the birthday candles again. Right, so she is now going to be an immortal. Oh, that's exciting. There she goes. There she goes. Okay, now put the candles back on. Let's get your twin sister. Elaine, come here, honey. Blow out the candles. Come on, Elaine. I know you're fighting through a crowd of people right now, but let's try and get through and blow out these candles. Oh, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. There we go. Look at how excited everyone is. Nice. Okay. We have our 3 sets of immortals, our 6 immortals for the next generation. That is great. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and give them a makeover. Now, Catherine and Elaine, they're not like the Salazars. The Salazars are completely identical. They're kind of like the Dravagers. They have slight, minute differences. But I'm excited to see what they're going to look like after I finish their makeovers. And also what traits they're going to have. I'm very curious. Just one thing. I just hope that Catherine doesn't get ruined. Because she is actually one of the... apart from Lagarth and Meredith, they're both nice. And so is Eden. Eden's nice, but she's got very incriminating traits. She's weak. She's a weakling. She is not physically. She has weak character. Okay, she's a very weak character. And then Elaine and Guinevere, they're kind of evil. And really, Catherine's the only one who is pure-blooded. Like, she's got all the vampiric traits, from a noble house, so kind of, privileged in that regard. But also, she has kind of well-rounded traits that are beneficial to the coven and probably to herself. That they don't weaken her character in any way. They don't make her a terrible person in any way. So I hope we just maintain that. Like, she's kind of the one sim that I've got hope riding on for the future of the Empire at this point. So let me go give them a makeover, and then we'll kind of see how they look. Okay, our ladies are ready to be displayed before Queen Aphrodite after their makeovers. On the left, we have Catherine Dragon, and on the right, her younger twin sister, Elaine Dragon. Now, I almost had a heart attack, guys, because I have been through this once before. I was talking about our lovely ladies here, and then discussing their traits and wanting to show off their lovely dark forms. But you guys know how when I do the makeovers, typically I like to reset the sim so that they have a straight face and you guys can, see the way they look as is without them making weird expressions. Right, I was trying to do that, but then I accidentally clicked edit in CAS, and you know how I have an oversized household, and at this point, if we go into CAS, we are killing sims, we are deleting sims, so I killed off someone. I don't know who it was. Actually, we have 10 sims. I killed off 2 sims accidentally. Had a bit of a heart attack, but thankfully I saved before we decided to show the lovely made-over sims off. So I just had to back up a bit, reload the save, and then return. So there we go. This time around, we're gonna try and be more careful so that nobody dies, because that would be immensely tragic. And it was an accidental click, I tell you. Sometimes the wheel kind of moves around, like the options on the wheel, they change where they're at, and I just instinctually kind of click in a certain place, and that place doesn't necessarily have what I'm trying to click. It's something completely different, like edit in CAS, aka let's kill some sims. So let's dive into the appearance of these ladies. Catherine is a brunette now. Look at that. They definitely look interesting and different compared to the other ladies we have. Just because I feel like we've been kind of going on this thing of light-haired brunettes and blondes and silvers. So it's kind of nice to get a bit of a break from that. So Catherine, yes, brunette. These girls had black hair naturally. But we know that our immortals like changing things up and being a bit exciting. So we have that. And her color palette for Catherine is a dark blue. So navy blues, these kind of things, royal blues. So she's got that dark aesthetic going on, which I feel like works really well with the brunette hair. And then on the right, we have Elaine, our innocent, bright, kind, at least that's how she portrays herself, vampiress. So she's got blue hair, and I don't think we've used this particular shade of blue before. Actually, I'm fairly confident we have not with our vampires. We've used the pastel blue that you can see on the queen. That's also the same blue, I'm fairly sure, that Princess Cassandra, back in Generation 1, she was a Generation 2 child, she had that hair color, but she died, of course, so we never really saw much of it. And I think someone has had dark blue hair. But actually, was it Freya? I think Freya might have had dark blue hair in her dark form. So yeah, this particular shade has not been touched before, but I thought it was a lovely color, and it actually is one of the colors in their eyes. These beautiful, pretty light blue eyes they have. I think this is one of the shades in there somewhere. It just complemented everything so well. And then because I gave Catherine this dark blue aesthetic, I just felt I had to give Elaine a light blue aesthetic. I kind of just fell in love with this color when I saw it. And I thought, I must give this to my favorite twin. And guys, lo and behold, once the makeover and everything was complete, even the makeup choices, I had a certain palette that I wanted for my favorite twin. And then when I finished their makeovers, funnily enough, I've suddenly switched now, in terms of appearance, I think I like Catherine more than Elaine, which is so weird, because I gave Elaine certain things because she was my favorite, and I was hoping to make her my ultimate favorite, but apparently, it didn't work out that way. For some reason, once everything was put together, and I kind of looked at them at a glance, Catherine was the one that stole my heart. So let me know, which dragon twin stole your heart, guys? I'm curious, very curious. But let's take a closer look at these lovely ladies. I feel like we're always curious about their faces, and sometimes, this is odd, but sometimes I feel like I forget to show you guys their faces up close. I'm trying to improve that, but I don't know if you guys noticed this. Elaine has kind of like this half-lidded, kind of lazy-eyed appearance to her, whereas her sister does not, Catherine does not, and I'm not entirely sure which parent they get this from. I have a feeling that Catherine, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but I think Catherine has Galaxia's, like, wider eyes, more open eyes, and this half-lidded appearance Elaine gets from their father Peyton. I might be wrong, but I feel like this is the thing for me. But yeah, Elaine, throughout the childhood, teenage years, she's been my favorite, but for some reason, Catherine's kind of taken the cake for me. Okay, in terms of traits for these ladies, Catherine, let's talk about Catherine. So she was a bookworm, a romantic, and then she randomized the trait materialistic. So she's the priestess in line, actually, and she loves novels, stories, reading, diary entries, bits of history, anything to read, I think. She just really loves that, soaking in knowledge, learning about things. That's right up her alley. And I feel like that's important as a priestess, because you're going to be consulting all these journals and things and tomes that people before you have contributed to, right? So there is that. And then we've said that because she's also really into reading novels, she has this idea of true love and romance. That's probably where she gets the romantic side of herself from. It's something she's developed as a result of everything she's consumed in, like, books that she reads, right? Now, when trying to figure out how we can attach materialistic to that, I figured, well, you know what? If she is a romantic sim, I can kind of see how she would emphasize tokens of love, right? So telling her that you love her is not necessarily what sticks with Catherine. You have to give her a gift. You have to give her something to show her that you love her. That's kind of the way she likes collecting and keeping things that remind her of romance, or remind her even of familial love, right? And then with the whole materialistic thing as well, having possessions, I feel like in terms of stories even, Catherine much prefers stories and advice or whatever else. She prefers things that are written down over things that get passed over word. So if you tell her a story, she's not going to be nearly as engaged as if you just give her a story that's been written by either yourself or someone else, like something that's written down and she can go back to and refer to. That kind of lets her be lost in this world and her imagination. So that's kind of the way I think of her materialistic trait. So even personality-wise, I'm actually really, really keen on her personality. And then we have Elaine, the younger sister. So Elaine's traits: evil, genius, and she randomized as an immortal music lover. Now, I thought this was interesting because our Princess Guinevere is also an evil music lover. Now, the only difference between Elaine and Guinevere is this genius trait. So Elaine is a genius and the princess is a goofball, right? So with the princess, we said that music to her is the sound of death and torture and pain. She likes that. It makes her happy. She finds music in the oddest of places where other people typically would not. Things that make you uncomfortable or sound uncomfortable sound just decadent to her. So that's the way music and evil combine with Guinevere. For Elaine, I don't think that is the case. I feel like music is just an added layer of sophistication to Elaine's character because she is, a genius as well. And I feel as though she likes music for the sake of liking music, but also it might be a deliberate attempt to have common ground with Guinevere. Because I feel as though Elaine sees Guinevere as the more capable princess, and therefore the one like most likely to become ruler in the future and hold power in court. So she's trying to build some sort of connection with the sim that she thinks is going to be in power. Like, she's throwing all bets, all her weight behind Guinevere. And we know with Elaine's character, there are times when she like has an opinion on something, or she wants something done in evil light, but she won't do it herself. She subtly tries to influence Guinevere to confront whoever it is she wants to confront. If she's trying to remind her cousins of something, the Dravagers, or whatever else it is, she typically doesn't say it herself. If it's negative, she will influence Guinevere somehow and make Guinevere be the one to say it without Guinevere actually knowing that she's doing that. She likes planting ideas and such into the princess's mind. So I feel as though Elaine, she wants Guinevere to be an instrument of her will. So she is engaging in things that is going to allow her to connect with Guinevere and be closer to her. So I feel like that's what this music-loving trait is about. And obviously, people don't really know she's evil. They know she's... Well, I'm not entirely sure if people even know she's intelligent. I feel as though people kind of see her as this simpleton, this little, not princess, but this little noble girl who doesn't really have anything succession-wise that she's going to be taking over. She's young, so she doesn't have any responsibilities. Nobody really expects anything from her. She probably doesn't have any ambitions. She's kind of just happy being a sheep and enjoying life and listening to what other people say. Like, she doesn't really have a mind of her own. She's like a happy little baby, essentially, is what people consider Elaine as. But she's not. She's got plenty of things working in her mind, in the background. And I feel like this is how all her traits are coming into play. So let me know what you guys think about that. Personality-wise, I actually really like Catherine's personality. Elaine I adore as well, but I think Catherine, weirdly enough, is my favorite twin. And now I want to show you guys their dark forms. And hopefully this time around, I don't know why her arm is bent in a weird angle if you look at the portrait, panel, I suppose. I don't know what's going on. But okay. We do not want to modify and cast. We want to reset the sim after we get her to show her dark form. And this thing that I was talking about with Elaine wanting to connect with Guinevere, and I feel like to a certain degree emulate Guinevere, you'll see that when they turn into their dark forms. Because look at this, the colors that Elaine has in her dark form are colors that Guinevere wears in her normal form. It's okay, reset, wonderful. So with Catherine, she is wearing white, and then she has hot pink hair, which I thought was so cool. I don't think we've really had hot pink hair on anyone. We kind of stick to the pastel colors, so I thought that was really cool. She's being her unique self. And then Elaine, she's got the purple dress on, and then she has gray hair, which isn't white, granted, but the whole purple gray, in that area, right? She's kind of emulating the way Guinevere is, because Guinevere has still white hair, and she wears the purple dress in her everyday, her normal form. So I feel like it's Elaine trying to connect, subtly with Guinevere. So there we go. And if we take a closer look at their lovely faces, look at this. Look at this gorgeousness. They both have red eyes, which we obviously already know. But there we go. And then here, she's got much darker makeup in her dark form than she does in her everyday. But yeah, so these are our two Sims, and I do think that Catherine is my favorite twin, guys. Unexpectedly so. I will admit. Quite unexpectedly so. Right, let's get you guys changed back. Thank you very much. Excellent, excellent. Okay, there we go. Everyone's done with that. I'm actually going to turn autonomy back on. And then everyone, more or less, can go about their days. Actually, I really want to know what these ladies want to get up to. Yeah, Lane likes fitness. I'm happy for that to be a thing. She doesn't have any interesting birthday wishes. But Catherine does. Catherine wants to get to know Meredith. So, let's see if we can get to know her. This is good. Getting to know your cousins, spending time with your cousins, being nice to your cousins. And now that we actually have, like, all the, now that we have all the teenagers aged up into immortals, who is your favorite out of all of them? Let me know two things, guys. I'm curious about two things. Out of the Dragon Twins, which twin is your favorite? And then out of everyone, like all of the Generation 6 ladies, who is your favorite right now? I actually don't know. I don't know who my favorite is. I have no idea. No clue. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not entirely sure. I feel like I need to play them a little bit more before I realize who it is I like. Maybe I need to wait for one of them to really grow on me. I can tell you who my favorite is between the twins, but out of all of them, I have no clue. I mean, if I like Catherine the best here, and then Guinevere between the princesses, and then Meredith out of the Dravages, you'd think that one of the three would be my favorite, right? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I actually really like Eden's appearance as well. But I don't know. So yeah, let me know. Who do you guys like? Maybe hearing your opinions is gonna help me form my own. And then I'll figure out who it is that I really, really adore. I have no clue currently. Honestly, no idea. Okay, I'm going to assume that you got to know Meredith a little bit more. But this is kind of interesting. Catherine is apparently quite close to Meredith. She's actually closer to her cousin Meredith than she is to her own twin. Which is wild. But also good. Catherine is kind of the sister who is, I feel like, so lost in her own world that when she comes out of it, she has nothing but adoration for the others in, like, her company around her. She doesn't have time to be petty. She doesn't have time. She's, like, lost in La La Land, pretty much. All, like, her waking seconds and minutes. So I don't think she has time to have, like, petty grievances and such. Have issues with others. That's just not even important for her. Kind of living in these fantasy worlds within, you know, the stories and books that she reads, and then trying to find that, like, a piece of that in the real world is where she, well, like, her mind is at most of the time. But okay, guys. This episode, I feel like, was a little bit shorter than I typically have it just because of the scare I had. But I think I'm okay to leave things be where they are for these ladies right now. And then, you know, we can come back and focus on some other things in the next episode. Let me just quickly check the calendar to see how we're going. So it does not seem as though we have, I mean, we've got really no other birthdays left. The next birthday is going to be Sophia's birthday, and that's going to be a while away. So really, we have time to kind of focus in on the visitants and any stories we have going on. And actually, probably working towards, I think we have time to focus on the visitant story and also to be working towards like Eden and Guinevere becoming ready to challenge their mother. I mean, they're really close to being a master vampire pretty soon. So, Creature of the Night. And actually, guys, look at this. Look at this. We don't have very, very long at all before Eden is ready to challenge her mother. We literally need 2 more points. 2 more points. So, okay, that is wild. What about you? You have a while to go. You've got a while. So I think we're probably not going to be seeing a challenge happen until I get both princesses to a master vampire rank. Because I don't want to do... I mean, obviously Guinevere isn't the heiress, but I don't want to do Eden and then have Eden lose and then have to wait while we train up Guinevere to be able to challenge the queen. In the event that Eden loses, I would prefer that both sisters are ready so that we can just go straight away to Guinevere and get to challenge the queen. So, yeah, that's going to be fascinating. We're going to be working on that, guys. So, okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Oh, jeez. Bye-bye.